Okay, hello there. Haven't done one of these in a while, but I'm pretty backlogged. So I'm here to do a VOD review for Zierk, who will be playing the Thresh today. And as I do with all my VOD reviews, I will go through the list of your questions and discussion points, and we will talk a little bit and focus on this review about those discussion points. Hopefully this won't take more than 30 minutes to 45 minutes total, as I like to keep these VOD reviews in a semi, decent state, or at least timing wise. And okay, so let's review what we're going to be talking about. I'll put this in directed camera until that time. Okay, so you say that this is your first ranked game with Thresh, so I'm expecting that there's going to be a couple of mechanical errors, a couple of unfamiliarity with the champion in this sort of setting. So we won't harp too much on that, hopefully. So your question is first, what is the best build order? Okay, I'll touch on that at various points in the game. Generally, supports are going HP item, their first gold item, right? Upgraded gold item into Sightstone, especially if they're a Frost Queen's support. I think the Targon supports are not going that hard. Although generally, if I'm doing well, I will finish my gold generation item. So in this case, Face of the Mountain to its last completed component, and then go into Sightstone. By no means do you have to get your Sightstone as the first item, but it is for sure if you're behind, you need to get it, and if you're not behind, then you can delay it to second item at most. Okay, so hold on, we're gonna pause here, we're gonna focus this on you. I'll probably switch to manual soon. Okay, how should I deal with the early harass by Sona? I figure threatening hooks, but I struggle to get good ones in for a while, and Graves took a lot of poke. Okay, we'll deal with that in our examination of the laning phase. How is your ward placement? I generally put a vision ward in the bush between mid and drag, unless they have a Shaco or similar, in which case I ward the bot lane bush. Try to place a lot of wards, but I don't really know what the best spots are. Okay, so against stealth junglers, it's a little different. So it's a good thing that in this game, you're up against a pretty standard jungler in Udyr. In general, less mobile supports, you're okay with putting a ward in this, either in this tri-bush or up here, around here. If you're able to put down more than one ward, it's good to put a ward here or here near your mid lane, so you can see mid lane roams, and a ward around here, so that you can see jungler roams throughout their bottom side. During the laning phase, pre 3 minutes, you're fine to use your wards in the bushes to make sure you secure vision of the enemy support. You having vision of the enemy support is very important, especially in early game skirmishes. Okay, timing use of abilities. We're going to talk about that, no doubt, in the laning phase. How should we have taken more objectives this game? Okay, in general, you can try to call objectives and hope that your team, listens to your calls, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's always going to happen, especially in silver. I wouldn't worry too much about this last point about taking more objectives in the game, mainly because other than calling for it, you can't really influence that much due to not being a major damage source. Focus on the other finer aspects of the game: laning, mechanics, team fighting, your own positioning, and have objectives as sort of a secondary thing. I know that Summoner School really loves to harp on the objectives is king type idea, but in reality, if you're looking to improve yourself holistically, there's a lot more things you can look at before you get to objectives. Okay, so finally we can get onto this laning phase. So this is Thresh Graves against Kog'Maw Sona. Okay, so here's what we do, right? Whenever you go into a loading screen, especially in ranked, you can look during champ select. You know who you're going to be up against. You should think about how the lane plays out ideally before you actually even get into the lane. So you're up against two immobile squishies as an engaged support Thresh. Your AD is known for his high burst, although with the nerfed range on Graves, that's a little harder to actually factor in. But still, being an engaged support is really good for that. and it means that you guys should have a huge advantage in this lane, especially since you should notice that Kog'Maw does not have heal for some strange ass reason, and Sona is running exhaust, not ignite. That means that any engage that you get in early on, you will win every all-in, like 100% of the time. If you play it correctly and you don't make a mechanical mistake, or your AD doesn't make a huge mechanical mistake, you're going to win the all-ins like the vast majority of the times, and you can just snowball the lane from there. So you should be threatening to get in engages in the early parts of the game. Of course, early parts of the game, level 2 is the most important, so we'll see how it is. As a thing to remember, level 2 for your lane on an even lane is the whole first wave plus the 3 melee minions in the next wave. So you should always be on the lookout for that. It's one of the easiest things to improve as a bot lane if you just watch for that during the start of every game. Okay, so you have Targon, so you should try to... Yep, that's good. Okay, you can try to get that one too. Alright, okay, get that, good. Okay, so you guys are already getting poked in. This is kind of normal. Wow, that was insane. What did you level first? Flay? Okay. So you shouldn't be so back, especially like I said, you have the advantage level 1. If you see your AD is playing a little more forward, against these two particular champions, you should be playing forward with him so that if anything happens to him, you can at least respond and make the trade worth it. Because otherwise, it's really easy for the enemy bot lane to go 2-on-1 on your separated AD. Okay, so remember, if you're watching carefully, you're going to hit level 2 after the death of... Oh, fuck. Hold on. Oh, they hit level 2 first. If they hit level 2 first, it means you guys have to back up. There's just no choice. Okay, we'll switch this to manual cam. Okay, you guys level 2? Okay. So, you were here when you guys hit level 2. This is really bad, right? Because as soon as you hit level 2, you hit a major power spike in this lane. As soon as you hit level 2, you have the ability to engage either by flaying or hooking. Right, flay hook, hook flay, either one. As long as you landed on one of these squishies, you can immediately go in for the damage. Right, so if we just go back a little bit, we'll speed it up a little. This level 2, as soon as you see this creep dying, you should be moving this way. Right, you should be moving diagonally this way, because if any of them move up for a poke, you're going to be engaging on them. You can even flash Flay, the Sona, right? And it will automatically mean the Sona will have to burn her own flash. There's no way you guys can ever lose a 2v2 in this lane because the Kog'Maw doesn't have a heal and the Sona doesn't have ignite. Yeah, see? That's a bad movement right there. That movement let your Sona get poked. And of course, this hook was never going to hit because you're too far away. Your positioning is bad. Sona walking into this bush is that's unfortunate that your hook is probably on cooldown. I actually can't tell if it is here, but the fact that Sona walked into this bush means you could actually flash into this bush and flay her. She's extremely out of position right now, and these are the type of things that you would be able to watch out for the more you play bottom lane. Okay, so Sona is already playing like too forward in this lane, like I can already tell. She's not respecting. So you're leading a lot with hooks. It's better to just use flay. Wait for her to walk up, get into range of her. Flay first, and then hook. It's much easier to hit a hook after you've flayed someone. Right. So the Sona now moves up because you've used the hook. Okay, you were actually in range there to flay, right? But you didn't. Don't know why, right? I don't like why even move up there in the first place if you're not going to do something. So you see, the reason the Sona is able to get off all this poke on you guys is because she legitimately does not respect your ability to engage on her. And so far you have not shown that, she has the ability. Okay, that's really bad positioning by Graves, granted, but it's also bad positioning by you because you're standing so far behind the creeps. And there's really no reason for you to. Of course, now they're level 3, there's more of an argument. But to be honest, I have no doubt that you could probably even win a level 2 versus level 3 engage. right here, again, you have a lot of creeps here. Their creeps are not coming for a while. You walk in there, you flay. Okay, yeah, I see this problem a lot with low elo threshes. They try to land random hooks during the laning phase and just hope that, you know, that will allow them to carry the lane, because, you know, they hit a hook, they go in. It's easier to walk forward and use your flay to get them and then follow up with a hook. Okay, that's a really good hook. Flay, okay. Unfortunately, your AD is already so chunked. I have a feeling that a lot of this will be okay. Yeah. So again, it's just more random hooks. This Graves is really not respecting the positioning. Not that he really should have to be honest. Like, this lane should be won, but you had hook there, right? Like, right here, you literally can walk up and flay. Right? So there's a lot of these, right? Like, I know you haven't played the champion a lot, but it's just these openings when the champion is so immobile, there's so many ways that you can respond to these situations. When you guys are supposed to have an advantage, it's now come to the point where you don't have the advantage anymore. Your Graves has used the heal, but it's just, you should note that there's so many of these missed opportunities that you had to create that advantage. Okay, that was mechanical error, I guess. Yeah. So you see, right? We're not even 5 minutes into the game, and I've already talked about like 3, 4, 5 different things that you could have done that would have dramatically improved this laning phase. That's why I often think that low elo players, they're focused on improving too much. They're focused, you know, like, how do I improve my warding? You know, how do I better time the use of their abilities? How do I use my lantern better? How should I take more objectives? When really, I've just looked at the first 5 minutes of this game, and I've already figured out like a bunch of things that you could practice for like the next 10 games before you're at a level that I would be comfortable with saying, you know, you can go look at the other stuff. So I'm not going to harp too much more on the laning phase stuff. If you have any questions about that, you can just ask me. But it's more or less going to be more of the same thing. And especially now that you've lost your advantage. Okay. Normally, right, at this point, throwing these hooks is actually bad, because you see the life total. Graves is super chunked. You're significantly chunked. If these hooks land and the opponent is better, they will actually just straight up keep walking forward and kill you guys, burn more of your summoners. Like, this is not actually right. If this AD carry was someone like Lucian or someone a little bit stronger, they could threaten to actually kill your AD and support. Now you guys are forced to back, right? So still, first 6 minutes, and already so many things that you can see that you can improve on. So you should be focusing on those things. You should be focusing on those you should have backed when your Graves backed. You should be focusing on those fundamentals, right? What's the point in thinking about objectives and ward placement if you can't even figure out how to properly play this laning phase that you're supposed to be legitimately dumpstering? Like, you're legitimately supposed to be destroying this laning phase all within the first like 3 and 4 and 5 minutes in the game. And again, these random hooks, they do nothing. These random hooks at this point are basically you stunning yourself. And against better opponents, they would take advantage of that and they would just straight up kill you. So you didn't back with your AD carry. That's really bad, because now you guys are not in a good position to fight. I mean, against a normal bot lane with an actual offensive summoner, you would not be in a good position to fight. Okay. So, okay, so this VOD review has only been 15 minutes. And so, like I said, there were so many things in the first 6 minutes of this game that you could have improved on. I think if I keep going, I'm just gonna sort of overload you on the type of things you could have improved at. And I know you asked a lot of things about like warding, timing, and use of abilities and objectives, but I want to stop this review short because I want to emphasize on just how much you can improve just from rewatching the first 5 to 6 minutes of this game. Okay, so just that first of all, right? The fact that you should be dumpstering this laning phase with your combination of champions and summoners against the enemy combination of champions and summoners. And there are so many missed opportunities, so much, or as you would say, bad timing and use of your abilities within the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game that would have dramatically altered the pace and possibly the outcome and result of the rest of this game. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to go look at a team fight, and I'll review one team fight for you, and then we're going to call it a day for this review. And I'm not trying to cheat you out of anything or anything like that. Like, I'm not trying to be lazy. I'm not trying to cut this review short. I'm just trying to show you that there are so many things you can be focused on improving in just the early parts of the game, that is what your focus should be. And if you have any questions about that, you want to talk to me about that, you want to argue with me about that, you can definitely for sure message me, and I will be happy to respond. So let's go to some random team fight somewhere later in the game, right? What's a team fight that happened somewhere? Oh yeah, looks like a team fight just happened. Well, not a team fight, but a skirmish, right? Oh, so you guys are ahead now. Oh wow, look at that. Graves got pretty fed eventually, I guess. Okay. Diana went in for initiate. Good to throw the lantern. I assume you're going to try and hook next. Oh wow, that's unfortunate. Flay, you need to flay. Ah, unlucky. Okay, so yeah, that's a mechanical error. Flay. Alternative play was to try and hook the Sona and just go in for the trade kill because you're going to die anyway. Okay, good flash. Flay should be almost up. Okay, smited. Alright, yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of mechanical and familiarity with the champion as well, which is definitely something that's going to improve with practice. I know you said it was your first ranked game that you're new to the champion. That's fine. Just keep practicing, keep playing, get used to that flay range, make sure you can use that flay to properly disengage, shove back people that are running at you. So like I said, the focus of this review, I know I cut it short, and I apologize for that, but there was a purpose. It's a very specific purpose. That's for you to understand exactly how much you can improve just from reviewing the first 5 to 6 minutes of this game and listening to what I said about the first 5 to 6 minutes of this game. Like I said, if you have any questions, any complaints, any inquiries, feel free to give me a shout. Alright, I hope you got something from that. Thanks.